Welcome back for a new Top 5 Fighters list. And this time, we are looking at the top 5 favorite fighting game soundtracks of the 2000s. So with that said, it's not based on how much I like the game itself, but strictly on the music. So with that said, we have quite a bit of honorable mentions first. First up, honorable mentions. Dead or Alive Ultimate, Volume 1/2. Soundtrack is superb. Dead or Alive 4, soundtrack. Street Fighter, or rather Vanilla Street Fighter 4. Soul Calibur 4. Mortal Kombat Deception. Dragon Ball Z Budokai 1, which does not get enough credit for its soundtrack. Last honorable mention, Virtual Fighter 4 soundtrack. Coming in at number 5 is a tie. In fact, there's multiple ties on this list. So with that said, the first tie is between none other than, well, music you're hearing right now. It's a tie between Marvel vs. Capcom 2, with also Capcom vs. SNK 2. And yeah, both soundtracks are superb. I like each for different elements. I like Marvel vs. Capcom 2 soundtrack for the more soothing, like jazz feel and everything it has. And I like Capcom vs. SNK 2 for having a little bit unique, different style, and also arguably having one of the best, I think, remixes of Akuma's theme ever, and also the theme for God Rugal is just up there, very high on boss themes. Coming in at number 4 is a tie between, first, the game I don't think gives enough credit for its great soundtrack, and that is Bloody Roar Extreme, also known as Primal Fury. But yeah, Bloody Roar Extreme, I think, does not get enough credit for the great soundtrack, like the boss theme at the end, like the evil laboratory, as well as Chaos Laboratory and stuff, like themes for Kronos and for Uranus are great. And it's a shame they don't get more recognition than they do. But I think the music is great, and I wish more people would realize how good Bloody Roar's music has been. Even the not-so-great Bloody Roar 4 game did actually have a few good tracks on it. But tied with it at number 4 is Dead or Alive 3. A superb soundtrack with a great opening song by, of course, Aerosmith, specifically from their 90s album, Nine Lives, and it's the track Nine Lives. And I think it was perfect choice to go with more of the over-action, heavy rock influence of Dead or Alive 3, and it fit perfectly, I think, for what they were going with the game. Definitely given who was controlling and running the Dead or Alive franchise at the time. He had a great taste in definitely rock music, in my opinion. Aerosmith is one of my favorite rock bands of all time, so admittedly a little biased also. But some really good tracks like Ryu Hayabusa's Saw piece is great. Also, I absolutely love Ione's track, I think is great. Personally, I prefer it a bit more than 2, though 2 had definitely a better track, arguably the best track for Ryu Hayabusa, though still, DOA 3 Alright is a great, solid, I think, fine game soundtrack. Coming at number 3 is another tie. It is a tie between Tekken Tag Tournament, which seriously is it's one of the few I actually own a physical copy of. With a soundtrack that does not get enough love, just like the game itself doesn't get enough love. Tied at 3 is Tekken 4, which, as I've said by now, I will continue defending this game till the day I die. And that's fine with me, I'll stay on this hill. Coming at number 2 of great soundtracks is a tie between 2 games of the same franchise. Coming at number 2 is between 2 great games of the Soul series from, of course, Namco Bandai. Does your soul still burn? Number 2 is a tie between Soul Calibur 2 and Soul Calibur 3 soundtracks. Soul Calibur 3 soundtracks are great. I love Abyss's track. Not as big a fan of the music used for Night Terror, but many others. I like a lot of the remixes, like for Astaroth and many others. But that like specifically the Sanctuary one and like that Cathedral used for like between battles and stuff like with Nightmare and stuff before the main boss is epic. It's arguably in my probably top 5 favorite Soul Calibur tracks of all time. With also easily the best boss, I think, music track of all time. And that going to Soul Calibur 2 soundtrack, Hellfire, the theme for Inferno. But with that said, coming in at number 1, there is no tie. Coming at number 1 favorite fighting game soundtrack of the 2000s goes to Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection. Because it has a combination of Tekken 5 and Dark Resurrection combined, which makes it an unstoppable, unbeatable soundtrack and is arguably, in my opinion, the best Tekken soundtrack of the Tekken franchise as a whole. Now, for me, as a whole, with Soul Calibur 1 is arguably still my favorite overall soundtrack of the Soul series. But, like I said, given it was my favorite from the 90s. And Tekken 5 Dark Resurrection is my favorite of the 2000s, so Namco won for the 90s, Namco won for the 2000s. And now, next time, we'll see who wins for the 2010s Top 5 Fighting Game Soundtracks, which will be 1 week from now. So stay tuned for that. Stay safe, everyone out there in YouTube land. And I'll see y'all next time. Same YouTube time, same YouTube channel. If you're trying to figure out the shirt, it's a shirt from Howl's Moving Castle. But anyways, with that said, I'll see y'all next time. Hopefully enjoyed the Marvel vs. Capcom 2 music in the background.